might's this orange rat be?
You're on my turf, Runt. You tell me.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This time we're talking Trump versus the Illuminati. This 2020 film is directed by BC14 and stars the voices of Timothy Banfield, Marco Gutzman, Sophia Woods-Stevens, and others. Right, so what is this one about? Well, this one has quite a convoluted plot, so I'll try my best to describe it to you. Essentially, in the 21st century, China gets some of Trump's DNA and they make a clone of him. And, you know, they pump him up with all these steroids and biomedical stuff. And then as nuclear war rages on Earth, Trump's clone escapes and then escapes Earth and goes to Mars. Oh, I forgot to mention the clone is also immortal. And so he lives on Mars for 1,000 years. And after 1,000 years, there's this alien race of, you know, devil-worshipping Illuminati followers, I guess. And they realize that the prophecy that Trump will destroy the Illuminati might come true because of his clone. So they go out to try to, you know, find him and destroy him. But, you know, Trump will be Trump. So what will happen exactly? You'll have to watch the movie and find out. Alright, so what works with this movie? Well, I gotta say, I appreciate what they're trying to do. You know, it's all CGI, but it seems like some type of like PS4, Xbox engine that they're working with. So it's all kind of like computer game graphics and motion and that type of stuff. So you can tell that they put a lot of work into it. They put their heart and soul into it. And I really did appreciate that. It definitely made it feel like this was a passion project more than anything else. And I love that the idea of this movie is just so far out there. You know, you have this immortal Trump clone, and then you have some like guys straight out of the video game Halo. I'm not sure if they're called like Spartans or whatnot, but they have all the armor. And then, you know, Bigfoot shows up and it's just so crazy. You know, I really enjoy kind of the crazy parts of it. And that also added to the humor. I did think it was quite funny, mostly from the crazy stuff that was going on. And, you know, Trump's also antics as well. So I would say, yeah, it is pretty funny, but crazy. And lastly, you know, I did like the character of Trump in this one. He's not the original Trump, he's just a clone. And so as he would say,
I'm not the Donald. I'm just a Donald.
And so he does feel like this new character where he, you know, doesn't have the same history as the original. And so he can get away with quite a few things. He does have, you know, the same mannerisms of talking and the same, you know, art of the deal. But he just seems like a much more fresh character. He seems kind of like this, like righteous doofus, I would say. And that also added to the comedy too. So even though it's not the real Trump, I thought, you know, it was a fine character who was quite funny. I also liked the main villain, or not the main villain, like this, you know, Satan-worshipping Illuminati alien cultist. I thought he was funny. He's kind of like the leader of the army. And I thought he was really funny. You know, they like threatened to send him to hell. And he's like, oh, yes, please, I would love to go to hell. And so I thought he was quite a funny character. Though, however, I think his like model changes throughout the movie. If you can look on the screen, you see like this red spot on the side of his head. But then for the middle part of the movie, he doesn't have that red spot. And so I just thought he was like another alien, but with like the same voice. And so that was very confusing. But overall, you know, I thought the character was funny. All right, so what doesn't work about this movie? Well, you never see Trump. Like you see he's in this orange spacesuit, and you'll never see his full face. You might see his cheeks and his eyes through the visor, but you'll never see his hair. And so it's just this like spaceman going around. Might as well be called Spaceman versus the Illuminati. It's probably like a decision based on the limitations of whatever video game engine they're using. So it is understandable, but it's definitely an odd choice to make. And that brings me to the animation itself. I'm sure they had some limitations, being like a video game engine where, you know, they have like invisible barriers around their faces so they can't actually like touch their heads. I thought some things were good, like Trump's dancing was pretty good. But yeah, other things were very janky. People really don't move that much. If you've seen like other video game animations, it's essentially just one giant cutscene. There is also lots of exposition to tell you what's going on rather than, you know, showing you what's going on. And so it is kind of like this, yeah, just really long cutscene from a video game, I would say. So it's a very interesting style of storytelling, I would say, but it's not like the most engaging. And lastly, the story doesn't make any sense at all. You know, some things just happen. You know, Bigfoot shows up, this Halo characters show up for no reason. And so it's not a very strong story. I will give it credit for being crazy, of course, but it's not a strong story. So I would definitely, you know, include that here. And that brings me to who I would recommend this movie to. Well, I think if you kind of like that video game style of movie, you know, there's a bunch out there. There's Red vs. Blue, Ex Machinima. And so if you like that type of stuff, yeah, you can probably turn this one on and enjoy it just fine. I think if you're a fan of Trump, you would quite enjoy this one. Get a real chuckle out of it. He is the hero after all. And that's probably going to be the main audiences. If you just want to see something crazy, yeah, I think you could also watch this as well. As for a rating, I'm going to give it a 2. It's definitely a risk if you decide to press play. Having said that, I think that's all I wanted to say, so subscribe for daily content and I will see you next time.